for sure. And then I think that, like every player we moved on from, we wanted to give them an opportunity to grow somewhere else. Say Cruz, I was only here with him for one season, but he had come in and did a nice job. But you know, I thought him getting a fresh start somewhere else would help his career.
Troy, I know there's a lot to figure out yet, rotation-wise and everything else. If you look at your roster, how many set starters do you think you have? I know they're not set forever, but to start the season, how many do you think are set?
I hope 17. I mean, we got 17 guys on top. I hope when your number's called, I mean, we don't know who's going to start, but I mean, guys go down. It's a long season. Like I said, we want to have a group that's competitive and hardworking, and when guys get a chance to step up, they can. But set starters, they determine that on the floor. But I like the entire group. I like the roster. I love the roster.
Thanks, Troy. Am I off? Oh, okay. I went to the Lions game yesterday. Oh, well,
Is this off?
no, that's enough. That was enough. We get it.
Great to see everybody.
Start out, we'll go to Omar.
Hey, Dwayne, good to see you.
Good to see you, Amar.
Just overall, what is this offseason been like for you? A lot of changes in the player development staff, coaching staff. What's it been like to be able to kind of refresh a bit and get some new people in place?
Well, it's exciting, Omar. Starting with a new staff, you kind of have to revisit your entire philosophy. The good thing about it, I've got a couple of coaches who have worked with me before in Toronto, so that kind of reconnection was easier. But still, with the new players, new staff, it's been energizing as far as getting back into it and kind of reframing your philosophy, going back over your philosophy as you teach it or explain it to new players and coaches.
What you've seen from Cade and Luka at Summer League, what did that inform you of how they would fit into your plans for the season?
Right. Well, Lauren, the most important thing with both those young men is they're excellent talents. Their basketball IQ is off the charts. I think that's a great start for any rookie. There is still a lot to learn with a rookie as far as the NBA game is concerned. They were playing some the other day, and Kate tried to call a timeout, and you can't call a timeout after the basket in the NBA. So just simple stuff like that. It's all those things that really let you know that there's still a lot to learn. But basketball-wise, IQ-wise, they're going to be a great addition to our program. Mm-hmm.
Troy set out to get you guys some three-point shooting this year, and I know you've been a big proponent of that. Do you like the potential with this roster from three? Is it maybe things break well, maybe one of your better three-point groups?
Well, yeah, it is. Since I've been here, it is. Yes, here in Detroit, it is just because of the fact that those guys, career-wise, have been excellent three-point shooters. They've shown the ability to shoot the three-point shot. We still have some guys who are still working on their shooting to get it back up, but naturally, a guy like Trey Lyles, an excellent three-point shooter. Kelly Olynyk is off the charts. Luka has demonstrated he can shoot the three. So again, it's summertime. We got to go through training camp, go through exhibition, and I'll have a better feel for exactly where they are as far as the three-point shooting is concerned. But Troy did an excellent job of bringing those type players in, and now we got to integrate them in and fit them into the system where they can produce and shoot the three. And the game is a three-point shooting game. It starts with defense first. You got to be able to guard, but still. It's a three-point shooting game. It's kind of an arms race, so to speak, from the three line. So we've got to be able to generate that. But also, too, we have to adjust and be adaptable as far as playing inside, because you have a guy like Isaiah who can play inside. Cade and Killian are big, strong kids, and can post up. They have the size. Cade has the length to post up some mismatches, and Killian has the bulk and the size to post up. So we may have to do some things like that and incorporate those in to play to their strengths. And then you have Isaiah who can play inside. So we may have to adjust our numbers a little bit as far as our non-paint twos and our shot spectrum, just to adjust to our guys' strengths.
Thank you, Wayne. How do you get to Jeremy to the next level? I guess where can he build off of what he did last year? And does his role change at all this year?
No, he's going to be a high usage guy for us. He's going to be our primary scorer, our go-to scorer in go-to situations. With him, I think his major challenge will be rebounding, is adding rebounding to the game and bringing rebounding to the table. We can't expect Isaiah to get all the rebounds or Kelly, so we got to really have some rebounding from our other frontline players. And so that's one area where he can really pick up, and he knows that. But it's an opportunity for him to take the next step, and I see that taking the next step is providing winning plays, which he will. That would be a great, because I think the usage. I don't know how much more we could utilize him as far as offense is concerned, but just getting back to the rebounding part would be huge for him.
A lot of teams have done what this organization has done and tried to scrape it down and build up with first-round picks. You guys hit, obviously, with the three last year and now adding Cade at the top. Do you feel like you have a core that's a little bit more special, a little bit more unique than a lot of teams that have done it in the past like this?
Well, we're a year ahead in the process. I think, as far as bringing those guys, the second year's guys back, like Sadiq, like Isaiah, bringing those guys back, the continuity, the consistency they bring back gives us another step, like we were talking about, taking another step forward. I think that's huge, with bringing the same core group back. As far as we have some special young talent. I use the word young, and that is going to be, we're going to have our ups and downs, we're going to have adversity, but at the same time, we want people to have to make a decision when they come into LCA to play. I use the analogy of the San Francisco, not saying we're going to be like San Francisco Giants. I think they were picked, fourth from the bottom, and now they have the best record in the Major League Baseball, and I hope and pray we emulate that, but it can be done. So I say, why not us? Everybody's counting us out, got us at the bottom, which is great, fine. I function better being an underdog, and hopefully our guys put a chip on their shoulder. So there's no reason to put limits on how high we can go, but I'm being realistic and understanding. It's going to be tough and difficult, but it still can be done, and why not us? We had a lot of close games last year. Guys, one thing that our guys didn't do last year is quit playing. They played hard each and every night. So bring that to the table again this year with some more experience, added talent, added three-point shooting, and we should take a full step forward.
When you look at the history of the number one picks, obviously it's always going to be a tag label on somebody.
Mhm.
We want to see if he do something, if he
Right.
plus as a coaching staff,
Mhm.
and you being around young talent,
Right.
how do you guys support him and make sure he's successful, with this first year as well?
That's a good question, E. One thing I know, Cade won't be a bust. He's not, that's one thing you can guarantee that. But there will be growing pains. We have to be supportive. He's going to have a target on his back each and every night, and it's up on us, his teammates, the coaching staff, and the whole organization is to make sure we support him. There's going to be some nights he scores 7. There's going to be some nights he scores 25. Is that who he is either way? No. There's somewhere in between until he gets used to the NBA game. So the expectations will be there. He earned them. It's not like, somebody gave it to him. He earned it by being the number 1 pick. And so that's part of the NBA. Nobody's going to feel sorry for him, but we as an organization, as his coaching staff and teammates, have to support him in every situation. And going in, understanding, and been in it that long, I've seen it. Like you said, the number 1 pick doesn't mean automatically coming in and dominating the league. Probably most of the time, if you look at the history of the NBA, usually the opposite. But so having the expectation, the understanding of where he is and helping him in every situation. He can't get too high when he scores 20. He can't get too high when he gets 7. Get too low when he gets 7. So that's the kind of support we have to be realistic with any rookie, not just him, but any rookie. Keith?
How do you balance as a coach who's gonna want to, obviously put some wins in the column there, that you're gonna have the ball in the hands of 2 20-year-olds a lot, Killian and Cade, and we all know the history of the league, teams with young playmakers that kind of struggle to win over the last 5 minutes.
Well, first of all, I pray a lot, Keith. That's one thing, too. I pray a lot. But, no, Killian, I'm very confident. He came back in September, a different kid. Played okay in the summer league. Not great, but okay. But he came in September in his individual volunteer workouts and did a great job. Playing with pace, the speed, was at an NBA level, which is always the challenge for all young players, is to get to that intensity level that it takes to win in this league. But he did that. He came back in great condition. Again, it's going to be a learning curve. That's the type of expectations that you have of young players. You expect that. You know that there's going to be some nights where they can't get it across half court, and some nights he's going to look great. But there's somewhere in between of where that growth process is that I expect. So it's trying to put him in the right situation. We're going to have a lot of plays where you have Jeremy handling the ball. You're going to have Kelly Olynyk. You're going to have Isaiah handling the ball to take the pressure off of our young guards. You got Corey Joseph in the mix who can kind of take some of the pressure off. And, again, that's why the thought process of playing Killing and Cade at the same time. If you put the ball in one of those guys' hands, it's going to be an issue because of the lack of experience and the lack of experience of playing against guys like Smart and Patrick Beverly and all those guys. So it wouldn't be fair, to put a quarterback. I think Chicago tried that last night, and you saw what happened. So it's tough, and it doesn't say anything about their ability or what they're going to be. It's just the initiation into our league.
Can you, on that note, can you develop two players who play the same exact position and they almost have the same age? Can you give both of them enough room, enough runway to grow? Or do you almost have to make a choice where one person's about to take a step back?
Vince, I just totally disagree that they're the same exact. In today's NBA, everybody wants to put a number. He's a point guard. He's a 2. He's a 3. In today's league, it's almost positionless basketball. If you look at a lot of teams now, they may need a number for the scorecard or whatever. But as far as handling the ball, you got to have multiple ball handlers in today's game. You got to have multiple playmakers or guys who can initiate the play. It may be the 5-man. For us, it's going to be the 5-man a lot, initiating the offense. So whatever numbers you want to put on them, it doesn't apply to us. And a lot of teams in the NBA, they're guards. Both of them are guards. We have wings. We have big men. So they're both of them need each other. One has the ball, he needs the other guy. This one has the ball, he needs the other guy. So it doesn't take away from each other's game the way we want to play and the way they're going to get their looks, the touches, or whatever you want to call it. So I'm not going to get caught up in those guys playing the same position. That's going to be a narrative, I think, that hopefully will disappear as we watch them play and play with each other.
I have a quick follow-up.
Okay.
You're heavily involved with the competition committee.
Mhm.
They came up with the rules last week. A lot of us got to sit down and talk to some of the referees. Did you like some of the changes, more tailored toward defensive players, or did you want to see it go a little bit further?
No, Vince, that's a great question. It's one of the areas that we talked about, giving a little bit more balance back to the edge, back to the defensive players, where you're not afraid to touch them, or whether offensive players are trying to trick the referees with the hook, the sudden stops, the veer off into the guy's path. So I like everything we've done as far as the rules committee and competition committee of making those recommendations. I think we're going in the right direction. So I think it's for the good, but I think everything we do has to be gradual. Just a lot of things, the pandemic, there's so many changes that players are getting used to before you know it. We can't just go ahead and change a total rule. So a lot of these are going to be gradual, and I credit Adam for that. They just don't want to just overall just randomly toss away some of the rules or change the rules. So a lot of the new changes will be gradual, and we'll see how, and it's going to be monitored very heavily as far as how the rules are going to be adjudicated and called and so like I tell the players, this is September, so we'll see how it goes in December. But the officials are on it. Monty's done a great job of really educating the referees, and I think it's going to be huge to educate our players and educate also the fans as far as what the new rules are and how they're going to be called.
Dwayne, good to see you.
Good to see you, Ron.
Obviously, roster completely different from when you got here, but what's your optimism level with this group and a nice chunk of those guys being young guys, first or second year guys, and having some vets to augment that, but just your ability to teach and your loving to teach, that you get to do a little bit of that and build this roster and develop this roster a little bit more.
Well, we're still teaching, we're still growing. That old word process, we got to go through that. We got to go through the grind of taking our lumps and not understanding the NBA, learning the NBA, so to speak, Rod. I think that's the biggest challenge, but it's exciting for me. It's exciting for our coaching staff. We have, luckily, knock on wood, hired a staff that is really excited about teaching. Billy Bano, Rex Kalamian, Jim Moran, Jerome Allen, all great teachers with enthusiasm, and they enjoy it. So it's going to be a teaching standpoint from that. But at the same time, my goal and my push is to win. We should always go in, not just, hey, we're learning, no, go ahead and kick our butt. No, we're not going into this season that way. We're going in to compete, to win. And, at the same time, being realistic and the word patient, understanding there's going to be nights 7 and 25. And that's not going to be characteristic of who that player is, whether it's A, B, or C. It's going to be somewhere in between.
Dwayne, I don't think we've talked to you since the team signed Kelly.
Mhm.
Obviously, him and Isaiah are both going to play a lot, but have you thought about them together? Is there a possibility if we see a lot of minutes of them?
You
playing
will,
together?
no question, no question. Kelly Olynyk is a great find by Troy and his staff. I've had a man crush on Kelly since Toronto. I mean, he's from Canada, and we've always tried to get him there when I was back in that other life in Toronto. So, well-respected young man. Someone asked about usage. He'll have a high usage rates because he's such a great passer, high IQ, great three-point shooter. So he's going to add an element to our offense and to our defense because he is a communicator defensively. And so that's going to he's an excellent addition to go along with Isaiah. And it's not going to stunt Isaiah's growth. And matter of fact, it's going to help it a lot.
Mark,
Mhm.
Dwayne, with the G League team coming in this year, and of course a lot of young guys, we saw, rookies and Luka Garza and Isaiah Livers, who may struggle to find time with the main squad. Do you plan to be maybe a little bit more aggressive in those assignments to the crews this season?
We're going to utilize it to the hilt, and that's something that I think I know all of you basketball fans will enjoy, is watching the growth right here in Detroit with the crews, a beautiful arena. Troy's done a heck of a job of bringing young guys in that's going to fit that mold, whether it's Garza, Saban, whoever those young players are. And there's no tag. I want to repeat this. There's no tag when a guy goes to the crews to play and practice and come back. When I felt that when guys were down Grand Rapids, I was talking about Sekou going down there. There's no shame in that. And I can give you many examples of guys in our league that's making a lot of money who did that for a couple years. And one young man in Toronto was starting. He was starting, going down there in practice, coming back. So there's no shame or stigma by going. Matter of fact, it's a badge of honor to go there and get your work in, extra work in, play, get the rotations, whatever it is. So we hope, Amari, to utilize it to the fullest, and I hope our fans will embrace the crews, watch the growth of a guy like Luka Garza, a guy like Jamarco Pickett, who is going to be, I think that young man has a really, really big chance of being a good player in our league. He's been impressive through the workouts. So I'm excited for Rob Murphy's done a good job, and DJ Baker is going to be the head coach down there, the group they put together. I'm really excited about that part of our program.
Hi, Dwayne.
Mhm.
Cade's obviously going to be his own player, but can you humor us and tell us who you think he reminds you of, past or present, or a blend of who?
Larry, that's a loaded question and a good question. It's hard for me to say exactly who he can be because the young man, he's big, he's longer than you think he is. He's an excellent shooter. Man, it's just hard for me to put a name on it right now, and I wouldn't want to pigeonhole him like that, but he's got a very, very bright future. Let me think about that and get back to you on that because he has the tools of a lot of different players in our league that have been around. Paul George comes to mind, just off of the top of my head, with his size, the way he can post up. I had DeMar DeRozan, he has those characteristics in the post, his mid-range game. So there's a lot of guys, but I don't want to pigeonhole him and say that's all it is. But most recently, those are the names that come to mind that he can be if he continues to work.
Hey, Coach, how does it make you feel seeing the brotherhood amongst all of your players?
Where's this at? Well, okay. Mm-hmm.
How does it feel seeing the brotherhood in all of your players? I mean, seeing the team so young right now, but then the other day you see Cade Cunningham and the way Isaiah Stewart's singing happy birthday with the rest of the guys? How does that make you feel?
It's great, and I'm gonna say this: the turnout we've had for the month of September of volunteer workouts, second to none. I didn't make one phone call to say, "Hey, get your butt in here." Then they were already here, working out, moving into Detroit, being a part of the community. That's the start of something special there, and that's the culture we want to build. That's the culture we've all talked about of building to making Detroit the place to go and be. And so it's so important to have that with our young players, and that camaraderie they have. They're kind of all on the same stage and line of growth, that it makes it really good. And you add a vet in like Jeremy, Kelly Olynyk, Corey Joseph, Rodney Magruder. All those are great vets for those young players. But they're all over the city. They've moved all over found places. So that's really good to see, and that's what you want to see: the brotherhood and the togetherness, amongst the team.
Thanks, Dwayne.
Okay, all right, thank you guys.
James, you want to start off with you? Is that any good?
Yeah, how's it going? Good.
You obviously had a little bit of a setback this summer with the injury. How long were you out for, and were you able to, how long was it until you were able to do stuff?
I'll say I was probably out for about, I want to say 5 weeks, but then I started progressing. So in total, until I got back into full contact was about 8 weeks.
Okay.
Yep.
Appreciate it. What was that experience?
No, I was gonna say, that you just, with what you had planned for the summer and missing that chunk of time, did you feel the posture on that?
I started off the summer, pretty hard, working hard, and obviously going to USA, and then that was a setback. I couldn't do nothing for a while, so right now I'm just trying to get my conditioning back. I haven't played 5-on-5 till just last week, so I missed 5-on-5 for about a couple months, so I'm just now getting back into that.
The young core first round picks that you guys had last year, just the young core overall. When you're in that locker room, when you look at these guys and you step on the court and play 5-on-5, how much do you look around and think about what could be next for this group?
Oh man, I feel like this group have definitely grown since we've got drafted. It's like the group in the whole puts in a lot of work. So when we out there playing together, you could just see like the progress we've made so far, and I feel like just for the group, we put the work in. So you reap what you sow. So I feel like it's gonna be good things coming.
One of the big things this offseason has been the COVID vaccine. What made it, I guess, easier for you to feel comfortable taking it?
Everybody have their own opinions on that, and own reasons to take the vaccine. So, and I had my own personal reasons too. So, just my own personal reasons made it easy for me to take the vaccine.
Do you mind if I ask what they were?
For me, it was just so I can do things like this and feel comfortable. Being around, my parents who are older in age without feeling like I was going to, be a threat to them as much. So pretty much those kinds of things played a big part into it.
So Rod, just how different has this summer been? First year the rest of the rookies came in last fall, it's a COVID season, access with them. Has it been easier to do certain things and get into a rhythm this year just with a lot of restrictions being lifted?
Oh yeah, and not only that, it's our second year, so we know what to expect. Versus last year, we didn't know what to expect coming in, and everything was on the fly. So this year, we have a better idea of what to expect and what we're going to be going through.
How optimistic are you for this season, and what do you want fans to know just about this group from your early indication of where you think you guys are?
Yes, I'm very excited about this upcoming season. I feel like we had a great summer of work heading into training camp, and I feel like the fans should be excited for what's to come for this group. We've been putting in the work, and we're excited to get out there and play in front of the fans.
Can you kind of elaborate? I mean, your coach and your GM talk a lot about defense really being the calling card of this team. If you had to pick one thing, what would you say about the defense and about just the mentality of this team defensively is really going to make you guys take some steps forward?
Yeah, I'd say just on the defensive side is, for us, everything is going to start with defense. We want to be a defensive-minded team. So, when we out there, just make everything hard on our opponents. We know offense is going to come, but our main focus on the defensive end is to make it as hard as possible. Every team that come in, we want them to come into the game knowing it's going to be a hard night and nothing's going to be easy, nothing's going to be given.
Do you feel like, I just want you to kind of explain the way you fit naturally living here in the city of Detroit in your 1 year?
Yeah, Detroit is a blue-collar city. People work hard here, and that's what I'm about. I work hard, play hard, and I felt like the fans fell in love with that and can relate to that. So just stepping out on the court, giving it my all every game, and doing everything I can to help this team win games. So.
Anyone else? Isaiah, thanks.
All right, yeah, thank you guys. Good, how you doing today?
Last year when you was coming in, it was such a big question right there. Could you get it together? You come out, you had the season that you had. Now you're coming into this season. Just explain the difference in your mindset this year, how much more comfortable you feel.
I'm really just trying to make improvements every year. Like you said, I'm feeling more and more comfortable, and with that just comes a little bit of responsibility. So as you see, our team is young, so we got some guys who are a little bit inexperienced. We got a whole lot of talent, but I guess my job is just to be there and help try to guide those guys through some of the mistakes I made in the past, try to keep them from making those same mistakes, and just helping them get better as fast as they can. So that's all I'm really here to do.
So we're being an old head at 24?
Yeah, it is a little bit. I mean, I make jokes on the team every day in practice. I'm like, I call myself the middle child because everybody else on the team, you either 6, 7 years in, 8 years, and then we got guys at 1, 2 years. So yeah, I'm known as the middle child on the team.
You were such a herald recruit and everything. How much do you just said trying to teach these guys the mistakes that they can make and that they're going to make, but how much do they have to kind of almost live it? Did you have to live it before you understood what it takes and how long it takes?
Absolutely. I really just am just now starting to figure out like what the NBA is all about, and learning that. I feel like you hear this all the time. You hear people say, I wish I knew what I knew then. I mean, I wish I knew now. I don't even know the saying. You know what I mean, though. You know what I'm trying to say. But yeah, so it's a lot of things that I just wasn't aware of in the past, and through experience and being in the league, being on the different teams that I was, seeing a lot, learned a lot. So it's just natural. It comes with experience.
What will it mean to play in front of a building at home that can be full capacity now this season?
I'm really excited for that. All my family's been calling me, trying to get tickets ahead of time. But yeah, it's been a while since we've been able to play in front of a packed house. So it'll be really special, especially for me to be able to do that here in my hometown.
If you could tell the younger version of yourself some advice, what would you say?
One thing I'd probably say to myself, which would probably be the most important, is that it's not a race. When I was young in the league, I wanted to be good so fast. I wanted to get everything right so quick. And now I'm here year 5, going into year 5, and it just all feels like it went by so quick. I like the space that I'm in now, but that's probably the one thing I would tell myself is that it's just not a race. Take your time. Just come to work every day, work, and whatever's going to happen is supposed to happen. So.
You've been on young teams pretty much your entire career. This particular team, does the vibe feel similar to your past stops, or is the energy maybe a little different?
Say that one more time.
You've been on young teams pretty much your entire career, obviously your first few years in Phoenix and then in Memphis. Does the vibe of this team feel similar at all to your past stops, or does it feel different?
Honestly, it feels a little different. I don't know if it's because I'm here at home in Detroit, or whether it be the guys, but I like every guy that we got on the team. Every guy's super competitive. Just last week, I mean, I've never played with Trey Lyles before in my life. But just last week, we were having practice, and we did a little scrimmage, played 5-on-5. And the team that I was on, of course, we were winning, game after game. And Trey got mad, and he kicked the ball. And I was like, I like the competitive spirit, Trey. I just like to see that, guys don't like to lose, and they care about, winning. So
That was good to see. I learned that from him. But yeah, I feel like top to bottom, every guy on the team is the same way. They don't want to lose, and they'll do everything it takes to win.
And with the young team, what does it take to establish that early? Young players sometimes, maybe lose focus just because they don't know season. What kind of helps keep that competitiveness in place?
Just consistency, coming to work every day, and being competitive with each other. I feel like if we do that in practice, we go hard at each other, it'd be impossible to get in a game and go against a guy you don't even know and go soft on him. So just being competitive every day and being consistent.
Have you gotten to know Cade pretty well so far yet? And have you guys had conversations about like what you were talking about?
Yeah, I have. I've had a few conversations with Kay here and there. Really started in summer league. We went out there and did a couple workouts. Came to a couple games. I feel like our chemistry is going to get better. It's not where it should be now. Naturally, we just met, just got on the team. So I feel like he ain't going nowhere. I feel like I'm not going nowhere. We'll both be here for years to come. So that chemistry will really come. So, but it's been good having him here.
What's the city of Detroit mean to you? I mean, this summer, seeing you out at Big Sean's charity weekend and a bunch of others here, what does it mean to you, the city of Detroit?
It means a lot to me. Like I said, it's my hometown. It's where I grew up, a place that I care very much about. And since I've come back here, I've seen a lot of improvements since the time that I left in high school till now. And I just want, that to continue. I want Detroit to continue to grow and, become a place that, people actually want to come to and visit and gravitate towards. So it means a lot for me to be here. Extremely excited for the opportunity to be able to play for the Pistons. And yeah, I love Detroit. I love the city.
All right, thanks, Josh.
Cool.
I'm just curious, the last 2 months, getting drafted, obviously in New York, you come to Detroit for a few days, then you go straight to Vegas, and after Vegas, you probably go home for a little bit, or what has this been like for you, just trying to get adjusted to this new life, and it's just going so quick?
I mean, it's been quick for sure. A lot of things going on in a short amount of time, but I mean, being around with the Pistons organization so far, it's been a bunch of good people that have, tried to help make that transition smoother for me. So I've been liking it. Detroit's been good for me. And, just being able to lock in on basketball now and be with the team, getting the workouts, it's been a lot of fun.
Hey, wonder, did you learn anything from Summer League? I know it was only 3 or 4 games that you played, but did you learn anything about what the NBA was about and what tweaks you might want to make to your game?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely it's a small sample size, but I definitely got to, get a feel for the pace, get a feel for, how it's officiated, just a bunch of little things that, you don't really get to experience unless you're in it. You can't really feel it whenever you're watching tape or whatever. So, I think it was definitely a good experience for me, just seeing where my game is at. And, now I think that's a good step moving forward for me.
Hey, Kate, Josh was just talking to us about how quick he had to learn about not getting success immediately and just knowing it wasn't all going to come in one day.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was picked 4, you're picked first. It's a slight difference, but how much patience do you have with yourself that it's not going to come as easy, or maybe it will come as easy, as maybe it's been
Right.
high school to college and everything else?
I know it's the NBA. Nothing's given to you, so you have to be humble coming in and just take it for what it is, and just try to work your way up. I feel like if you can be consistent every day and just work hard, then the good things will come. So I'm not really gonna press, trying to force the issue too early. I want to make sure that everything's smooth with the squad and be patient, like you said. I know things gonna come. Josh, comes in for early morning workouts. He was doing that whenever I first got Detroit and nobody was out there. So I know he's in the city, but just to see him working, so much. You know, he was telling me about, you know, making sure that I stay patient with it and things gonna come when they come. So, you know, I'm excited just to see how things start. I'm excited to be in the NBA now and, you know, see where things go.
Okay, everything moved at kind of a whirlwind after the draft and summer league, as they said, but now that you've been in Detroit kind of physically, do you get the excitement and exuberance that's building and where you fit into all of that and the optimism that people have?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I feel the love pretty much everywhere I've went while I'm in the city. You know, people tell me good luck. People, you know, are just checking. So, you know, I think that kind of hearing it from the city as much as you know, I feel it within myself. It's a good feeling. I think, you know, it's gonna start the excitement for the season and how things go for us. So, you know, we're a young team. We're trying to grow together, but having the city behind us and you know, us being just excited for our future as they are, I mean, we're only gonna see where we go from here.
What's up, man? How you doing? Eric?
What's going on?
Have you studied, two-part question for you. First question is, you look at the history of #1 picks, it's always gonna be tied to your name, no matter what.
All right.
#1 pick here and there. When you think about, you know, successes and some failures, you know, how did that make you feel just being a #1 pick? Is there a certain level of pressure or responsibility that comes along with it? How do you embrace that of being a #1 pick?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have looked into it, because it's fun to see the history of it. It's fun to, you know, see where those people have went. But at the same time, I try to just stay me. I try to, you know, lock in on the fact that, you know, I'm trying to live this every day, and so, you know, I'm really just writing my own story. I'm not, you know, any of those guys. So, it's fun. I think it's exciting to see where I can take it. I just see it as an opportunity, really, to show everybody that, you know, I am the #1 pick, and, you know, I was taken there for a reason.
I got a quick follow-up for you too. I talked to the OG, the Grant Hill today. You know, it's been a lot of stars here, but that was probably like the last superstar. And he was like telling me about, you know, as far as just your relationship, they met in high school. And, you know, just talking about the influence of G Hill and having a guy around him like him, you can kind of lean on and actually play him as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool to see somebody that was, you know, one of those guys be around and to, you know, pick his brain and really just to talk to him. I mean, he's a cool dude. He's not, you know, forcing the issue. You know, he's a real humble guy. He's about his business, and, you know, being around him, picking his brain, and just having him check in was real cool for me. And he was around a bunch. I mean, he was in Orlando. I was out in Montverde, so I was seeing him a lot, you know, while I was in high school. So it's crazy I'm in Detroit now, and, you know, life comes full circle. But, yeah, definitely, I was super excited to talk to him then, and now I'm more excited that I'll be able to speak with him a lot more in the future.
You said you're not gonna press the issue or force the issue. Your year in college, did you show that expectations were heavy, but you didn't necessarily press the issue? It didn't seem like a force the issue. Do you think you have that experience handling those expectations now?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, you know, any situation that I've been in where there's been a lot of pressure on me or whatever, I feel like, you know, I've stayed true to who I am, and I found ways, you know, to still come out on top. So I know that, you know, this is a different pressure than I've ever faced before, I guess, but like I said, I don't really look at it as pressure. It's more of an opportunity to, you know, show people something than to think about all the bad things that could happen. You know, it's fun to be with the squad every day now and to, you know, be up against NBA guys every day, which, you know, is to be in an NBA practice now every day has been a lot of fun for me. So, you know, it's just a new life experience for me, and I'm excited for it.
One of the things that your coach said to us was that he feels like, why not us? You know, he said people before the season picked the San Francisco Giants to be, you know, a bad team or have a bad record, and they're in first place, and he says, why not us? And then he performs better with a chip on his shoulder. Do you kind of embrace that same mentality? Is there something of that maybe he's talked to you guys about? Do you sense that? Do you live that a little bit?
Definitely. I mean, you know, like he said, Tigers were low in projections, I guess, but, you know, now they're one of the top teams. Obviously, we're a really young team, And so the NBA is full of, you know, great talent, great teams. So there's not a lot of high expectations of us right now, but, you know, I feel like we're all going to come in to be consistent, to play hard, to, you know, play to win, make the right play. And I feel like if you do that every day, then, you know, at the end of the day, it's just basketball, and whoever does that more is going to win the game. So if we can stack up those days and you know, surprise people, then that's what it's going to be. So that's what we're shooting for every day in practice. And I think we've had a good month leading up to training camp to start that. Really just a good off season with everybody. So I'm really excited to see where we go with it.
Kate, I'm Larry Leach from the AP. If you weren't an athlete, what do you think you would do for a living? And what else are you into outside of basketball when you're not training or thinking about basketball? What do you do with your time?
I mean, I spend a lot of time thinking about basketball, obviously. But, you know, I'm interested in a lot of things, a lot of arts and stuff like that, music. You know, I watch a lot of movies, things like that. So I took a bunch of theater classes in high school, surprisingly. But, I mean, just the little thing. I do, you know, the little things to stay off my feet, be comfortable. And, yeah, what would I be doing if I didn't play basketball? I'll be in business trying to make money. That's what it'll be.
So Brad Galley just asked Josh Jackson if he's ready to play in front of a packed house at Little Caesars Arena. And on Woodward Sports, we had Coach Casey on, and he said the day after we landed that #1 lottery, the Pistons sold over $700,000 in tickets. How does that feel to you? First off, thank you. Secondly, how does it feel to know that you single-handedly did that?
I mean, thank y'all for wanting to come see me. I mean, it's crazy. Like I said, I mean, I grew up just loving basketball and wanted to, you know, be as good as I can at it. And so to be here now is crazy. So I'm excited to be playing for a city that's excited for me, really.
My question is, I'm seeing all these T-shirts walk by that say "Restore," and I'm wondering, is this a rallying cry early on here in your camp, and what does "Restore" mean to you for this team?
You know, Troy Weaver, Coach Casey, both of them been saying, you know, it's a restoration process more than anything, because the city of Detroit, the Pistons have been, you know, the best team in the world before. So we just trying to bring back that culture that, you know, has already lived in the city. And, you know, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to restore every day. We have a young core to start it out, bunch of young talent that I feel like once we come together, then we have a real shot at reaching that. So that's why you see all those shirts, and we try to mean it every day.
On that same note, you mentioned Grant Hill earlier. Obviously, Pistons are an organization that have, you know, won championships and have had stars in the past. How much have you been able to talk to some of the former stars? Obviously, Ben Wallace has been around a lot. Who just got elected to the Hall of Fame. How much have you been able to have those conversations with some of the former players and kind of tap into their perspective, and have you been able to feed off of that at all?
Yeah, so I was blessed to get invited to go to Ben's Hall of Fame ceremony, which, you know, to be, you know, in those rooms with all those legends, you know, to be in the ceremony with, you know, basketball heaven. I mean, basketball, like the best players to ever do it. Like, it's crazy to be in there. So I was just super glad to be in that room. I tried to soak up as much knowledge as I could. And yeah, I mean, I've been able to talk to, you know, Rasheed Wallace a bunch. You know, he does a lot of things with camps for, you know, AAU, got really just in grassroots. So I had already kind of built a relationship with him that has only been growing. And I've seen other guys around, but to be in that room around everybody and to see, you know, the camaraderie with everybody in there was special.
And does that make it feel more real when you hear firsthand from them, you know, their experiences, how they live it? You feel like that's helped you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you have to soak up all the knowledge that you can from guys that have been, you know, where you've been and have already walked that path, because they've seen everything that I'm seeing. And so, you know, regardless, you have to take their perspective with it with respect and, you know, try to apply it as much as you can to what you're doing. So you know, those, like I said, those are the best of the best to play the game. So to be in there listening to them was cool for me, and Isaiah and Sadiq for sure.
Anyone more?
Hey, Kane, as you kind of look ahead, have you allowed yourself to think about your debut yet? And if so, what does that look like in your mind?
I mean, yeah, I've definitely thought about the game, just really more just about, you know, my first time being in an NBA game more than anything. I haven't set any expectations on myself on what I'm gonna do or anything. I've really just been, you know, trying to work each day so far that I've been out here with the team. So I'm excited for it. I think, you know, my fam is super excited for it. They're ready to be there. And I'm ready to, you know, just be in Detroit, put an NBA jersey on for the first time and try to help us win.
All right, thanks, Gabe.
Appreciate y'all.
Obviously, you were able to start some games last season and really work your way into the rotation. Kind of how have you taken that and what's been your focus this offseason to kind of take that next step for yourself?
I would say for me, just off of last season, just being ready when my name's called, and then just kind of takeaways was just continue to work on my pace, pick and roll play, and shooting was big for me this offseason. Working on my shooting was number one for me. So that's something this offseason I focused on personally. And then going into this next season, just want to be a defensive-minded guard, being ready to guard other teams' best players, best guards, and just whatever coach wants me to do, just whatever role he asks me to play, just do that and excel in that role. So that's kind of my mindset going forward.
So you go into the three ball. You shot the ball pretty well to end summer league. Did that carry into the off season these last few months for you, just in terms of everything you had been putting in, had been working, and how to build off that too?
Yeah, most definitely. Especially before summer league, working on my shooting, and then during summer league, being able to kind of do it against live reps in game, and then after summer league, just continue to rep those things out and those different shots out.
Dwayne Casey's talked a lot about how he was in Toronto and they had the G League team in the city, how guys shuttled back and forth a lot. He credits the development of a lot of guys that have gone on to have great careers with their the growth they have in the G League. Has he talked to you at all about the possibility of doing that, like shuttling back and forth a little bit, practicing with Pistons, playing the G League game, coming right back?
No, we haven't talked anything about that.
How do you see your game fitting in? You know, of course, this team has a lot of power handlers, and Dwayne talks about the importance of having most scoring floor at once. How do you see your game meshing in with obviously Kenny and Cade and Curry as well?
I think it meshes really well. I feel like me, like I said, I know we have a lot of guards, a lot of ball handlers, but I feel like me personally, I can kind of fill that void defensively, being able to guard some of the guards on other teams, the better guards, kind of take that load off for Corey, Killian, Cade, and just being able to take those guards head on defensively, and then offensively, being able to play off the ball. I feel like I can do that. That's kind of also why I wanted to continue to improve my shooting, just being able to space the floor for them. So that's kind of how I felt like I can fit in with the fellow guards here.
So last season, chemistry was one of the things that took a little bit longer for you guys to develop because of the short off season. Now having a little bit more time, what have been the early returns you've seen on it?
I'm sorry, can you say that last part again?
What have you seen in terms of being able to build up chemistry now that you guys have had that longer off season?
Oh, definitely. I mean, just being able to be here with the guys, being able to hang out off the court, have team dinners, team meals, just continue to build that chemistry because I feel like that's extremely important because, I feel like when adversity hits, if you're not too close with your teammates, your brothers, people can go different ways. And I feel like that's very essential for, I guess, success going later on throughout the season.
Thanks, Zach. Appreciate it. One last question.
Okay, so,
Do you plan on putting somebody on a poster this year?
yeah, that definitely is a plan. I need to get some of those down for sure. Yeah,
Appreciate it.
no problem.
Jeremy, can you just take us through your summer with the gold medal team and just what you bring back from that experience?
It's a great experience for me. Just being able to be there with players of that caliber, that talent, to watch them work, watch the work ethic, watch how they kind of move. Definitely took a lot of pointers from that and put them in my game after that. And looking forward to showing some things I learned.
To go with that, Jeremy, do you think that opportunity would have presented itself for you had you not made the decision to come to Detroit and kind of take that gamble on yourself?
Not at all. Not at all. I think my decision to come to Detroit and showcase talents that I haven't been able to showcase before definitely helped me to get picked for that team.
Appreciate it.
Jimmy, most of the teams returning the veterans, but the big off-season addition was Kelly Olynyk, who basically is kind of taking Mason's roster spot. So you're going to be playing with a different type of big this year. What type of impact do you think his ability to maybe space and play away from the basket will have on your ability to maybe get some more space on driving lanes?
Yeah, I think Mason was great for us. I think Kelly will be, like you said, a completely different player for us. I think he'll be great for us to be able to stretch the floor and open up driving lanes and things of that nature. His ability to pass the ball as well. He's extremely talented, extremely skilled, especially on the offensive end. So look forward to playing with him this year.
Jeremy, what was your sort of off-season emphasis? Where did you want to improve, and do you think you were able to do that?
Yeah, so I always want to improve on a little bit of everything. Obviously, after last season, seeing where I would have the ball at and seeing how involved in the offense I'll be in. I worked on my ball handling a lot, playmaking a lot, rebounding, and shooting. So a little bit of everything, but at the same time, just reading the game. I think the experience of last year and experience of this summer would definitely help me this year.
Jeremy, we either talked to you or Coach Casey last year about the hard falls you would take going to the hole.
Was that also a big emphasis now that you have that under your belt, just what it takes to take on that type of workload physically throughout the course of the season?
Definitely. It's definitely something I'm working on. Yeah, to be that involved in the offense and be and that involved in the game, and hit the ground that much is definitely takes a toll on your body. So definitely trying to work on that, and yeah, but I'll keep making adjustments until I'm at a point where I'm comfortable.
How do you see your game kind of meshing in with Cade to secure out the ball as well, and kind of what has that been initial, feeling just getting that chemistry confidence so far?
I think it'll be great. I think he obviously is great with the ball. He's great at playmaking. He's great at scoring the ball. So to have someone else like that on the team is great. I think it'll be seamless. Honestly, very unselfish player and very talented player. So I'm looking forward to it.
How is he, number one pick, obviously all the celebrated pick and everything else, how is he fitting in as, assume just another one of the guys, how is that working?
He's great. He's great. I mean, he's a great person. Obviously, extremely talented, extremely skilled, but he has high character for a young guy. Definitely moves as an older player. The way he thinks, the way he moves is a lot older than what his age is. So.
How do you see your leadership role being different heading into this season as opposed to last year? Obviously, when you got here last year, Blake was here and Rose, et cetera. It's different now. How do you see that?
I think it's going to be more of a leader role. Like you said, when I was here, Blake and D Rose were already here. They were the leaders when I first got here, and I think this year is different. I'm gonna have to step up a lot more. We got a lot of young guys, like everyone knows, on our team. So just being able to step in and coach them up, it's gonna be a lot of highs and lows this season, and just being able to weather that storm with them.
All right, thanks, Jeremy.
Yep.
What has this whole, summer process been like for you, getting acclimated to a new team? Just kind of how would you characterize your first few months?
As a blessing, to be honest with you. My first months here have been just more rehab, I'm trying to get to know the guys, get accustomed to the system and whatnot, do as much as I can on top of the rehab, like watching plays, just trying to see how the team is and trying to find my way to fit into the culture. But pretty much it's just been a blessing. Like, I'm just happy to be here. It's that simple.
And where are you at with your rehab right now?
We're nearing the end. Hopefully looking at just a couple more months. But trying to get back on the court and get to, getting used to contact and stuff like that. So yeah, we're nearing the end.
What was draft night like for you, and how quickly after draft night did you talk to Pistons?
Well, draft night I pretty much understood that I wasn't going to get drafted. So my agent and I were working on, what I was going to do afterwards before the draft even started. So we had a pretty good idea that this was where I was going to land. But, obviously after the draft, we weighed our options, talked to different people, and when it came down to it, my family and I figured that this was the best place for me.
Can you expand on that? Why did you? What was the recruiting pitch from them, and what did you like about what you
I mean, I just felt like they really wanted me to be here. You know, that's really more of like a feeling. Because obviously, when people recruit you, that's what they're trying to do, is get you to feel like, you know, you should go there and like you should be there. But I really felt like, you know, Detroit wanted me here, the whole organization from top to bottom. Also, on top of that, my bad, I lost my train of thought. But I also I really wanted to be here as well. We didn't, you know, my agent and I, we have been weighing options and trying to figure out what would be the best fit for me. And I mean, I don't really know how to expand on it. It was just, you know, but yeah, that was the big thing. I felt wanted, you know, and that's what you want.
Now that you've been here for a few months, how does that live up to the expectations of being the best fit for you?
It's lived up to everything. Like at UCLA, we started my rehab and everything, but obviously there was a lot of other things that needed to be dealt with as well. So I didn't get, you know, as much attention as our trainers and everybody wanted. But here it's been, you know, I get time with the strength coach, with the rehab trainers and everything, you know, one-on-one stuff. So it's been really good. Like I get on the court and everything, have coaches that spend time with me. You know, everybody in the facility, like I said, from top to bottom, you know, greets me as if I'm, you know, one of the players that's been here already. So I just got here and just, you know, felt like I belonged here and like I had been here already.
Is that maybe your outlook for the year? Is almost a redshirt year where you just want to get healthy, understand the culture and everything that's going on here, the playbook, and then just kind of be ready for the end of the season? So kind of half redshirt and half just get back in the flow.
To be honest with you, man, I'm just waking up every morning and doing what they send me the schedule for. So I'm just taking it day by day, doing as much as I can because, you know, our goal is to get back as soon as possible, but to not rush it. So, you know, I was told a couple months, but who knows, it could be earlier than that. So I'm just trying to do as much as I can, hopefully get back sooner than expected. So ideally, I'll get back sooner than they have planned for me. I never thought of a redshirt year. That's a good analogy. But yeah, so maybe like a little half redshirt year, something like that. But ideally, you know, I want to be back, you know, by the time season starts, ready to rock. But if not, then, you know, I'm still happy to be here, and I'm gonna put in the work every day.
For fans who are unfamiliar with your game, how would you describe your game?
Sheesh. I'd say smooth, for one word, versatile on both ends. Just like someone who makes winning plays. It's that simple. I don't, you know, try to do flashy things. I don't try to, you know, make highlight reel plays. You know, I try to, you know, get my teammates a look on offense or myself, and on defense, I try to make sure that none of the men around me or, you know, my man is scoring the ball or doing anything to help them on offense. So I haven't been asked that question in a minute because I haven't played, but yeah, that's the best I can think of right now.
And is the injury did you have another year of eligibility at UCLA, or was this your last year?
No, I did. It would have been my 5th year, though, so I already did my freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior year.
Did the injury play into why this was the right time for you to join the league, or did you already kind of have in mind set, you know, I think I'm going to try this now?
It was a lot, you know. I wouldn't necessarily say the injury propelled me to leave because that just wouldn't be smart. But I just figured it was my time. You know, I had tested the waters a couple times to try to see if I could leave earlier. Did it my sophomore year the first time. So, I mean, I had a pretty good idea of what, you know, the people in the league thought about me and how I could fit into the league. But I figured, you know, it was just my time to leave. I had already spent 4 years there. Kind of sick that I left and now they're Jordan and everything now. But, you know, I'm just happy to be here. I'm excited for the season that they've got coming up. They got everybody to return except for me. But yeah, the injury definitely played a role in me leaving. But I think even if I didn't get injured, I would have left.
All right, thanks everyone.
Thank y'all.
If you kind of describe where you were when you got the news, your two-way would be converted to a standard contract, and was that expected prior to it happening?
Yeah, no, it was definitely a crazy feeling. I was just after a workout, I was in the hot tub, just on my phone, got a call from my agent, started talking, and I heard the news, and so I was extremely excited about it. For me, I just wanted to, come in here and show what I'm able to do and work as hard as I can and play as hard as I can and see if the team saw some value in that, and I'm lucky that they did. So I'm excited to continue to move forward with the Pistons.
So we see your dad, Frank Garza, posting all about you on social media, and I love this man. But what does it mean to you to have your dad so closely a part of your journey?
It means a lot. He's been there every single step of the way. He taught me how to play basketball. He taught me how to shoot. He's worked with me, through the ups and downs of my career. Through college, really only missed like 5 games. He was there at home and on the road. So always having that there, being able to look in the crowd and see him, it provides that support. And, he knows the game. And so when I'm able to, look through film with him and talk to him on the phone about different things that are going on, it's really helpful because I'm still a guy who wants to learn as much as he can about the game from so many different people and all the coaches, and obviously having a dad who's a person like that I can go to and learn more about the game is incredible. And then having someone like that, remember after my sophomore year of college, I shot like 29% from 3, and my dad was the one who taught me how to shoot. So after the season, I went straight to my dad. I'm like, hey, we got to fix this. Can't be shooting like that. I'm a better shooter than that percentage shows. And through the rest of my career, I was a high-level three-point shooter, and that's because we had a really great summer going into my junior year.
Learning how to shoot is a tough transition for a lot of big men. For you, what do you think eased that transition? I assume you probably already have some shooting touch.
Yeah, I've been shooting since I was a little kid. I've always been. I started out when I was playing. I was more of a jump shooter than I was a post player, and then I got bigger, and I was able to find a lot of success in the post. But I was always able to shoot. I shot threes in high school, and I shot 50% my senior year in high school from 3. So I've always been a three-point shooter. It's always been part of my game. I think just especially in different on different teams, the most effective way for our team to score was me being on the block, and I agreed. And I loved playing on the block, and I knew when I created so much double teams, triple teams, that helped our team because I get the ball out to our shooters, and that's the same thing that happened at Iowa. So for me, it's not really a transition. It's just kind of always been in my game, always been something I had. I could outshoot pretty much, always outshoot anybody on the team. In my opinion, I had that confidence in my jump shot. So, for me, it was just now I'm kind of leaning on that more so than I have in the past. But no, it's definitely a part of my game I'm very confident about.
When you were having the success you had in college and then reading or hearing about the doubts that some of the skeptics would have about how you transitioned to the NBA, did you have any of those doubts? And if so, what has happened over the course of the summer to make to give you even more confidence that you will be able to transition?
Yeah, for me it was something I was used to. It was the same thing that happened to me in high school. I was doing good on the circuit, playing well, playing well in different camps, but people didn't see me transitioning to a high major level very well. So, I was really used to it, and I knew it was going to happen. I expected it, and for me, it just provided me a lot more motivation to work and work and work and continue to work. And for me, I didn't know, what my transition to the NBA would be. For me, I wasn't really worried about it. And, I never really thought I'd be in this position. So, I'm going to take advantage of the opportunity that's ahead of me and do whatever I can to be successful.
Is upgrading the contract to a standard contract with the main roster, is that kind of validation for the hard work that you put in, not necessarily in college, but just since the draft, that they showed faith in you, you put in the hard work, and that doesn't always pay off. Guys work hard in the league, but you see the tangible result of that in what you've done.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it shows that, you know, I've been able to show myself as a guy who's, you know, you could see transitioning into the NBA more so than you could see before, with losing the weight, with becoming a little bit quicker, and with growing and learning on the defensive end, and continue to show and adapt that, hey, I can score in a lot of different ways. I don't always have to be on the post. You know, you can put me in a lot of different situations, and so that, you know, saying, oh, he posts up, he won't be able to play in the NBA. It's like, I can do more than that, and still be able to do that. So, you know, I think it definitely is a little validation, but for me, I'm never comfortable. I'm always someone who's reaching towards something next, and I still feel like there's still a lot of doubters out there. There's still people who are going to talk down on me and what I can be able to do. So I'm always out to prove people wrong, and I'm still going to do that.
Is Kelly Olynyk someone you can learn from, just as far as obviously having, you know, some similar strengths on offense, but also he had the same question marks coming against the league on defense, and here he is, year 8 or 9, he's been a really effective player.
Absolutely, and going against him in practice has been so helpful for me, and you know, workouts and different things like that. Just being able to learn from him, his footwork, his skill, his ability to be crafty around the rim, and what he does to be so effective. You know, he's a guy, and you know, I was watching a lot of film on him before I even, you know, knew he was coming to the Pistons. He's a guy I look up to. So for sure, watching what he's been able to do and watching what he continues to do, and so it's definitely something throughout the course of the year. He's going to be a guy I ask, you know, advice for, you know, from, and different things like that, because, you know, I want to be in his position 9 years from now.
Thanks, Luka. Appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, guys.
Isaiah, that's a basketball.
Nah, I know y'all code.
All right, so, ready to play October 1st, let's go. Yes?
No,
Still not
sir.
clear.
No, sir. I wish.
Is it still November 1st?
Yeah, November 1st is the plan.
Even with the injury, just how have you been able to acclimate, you know, get used to the schemes and your new teammates? What has the last 2 months been for you since the draft?
Coach Casey really is doing a great job last couple of weeks, even in the summer, of implementing defensive schemes, as you mentioned, defensive habits, offensive habits, plays, obviously. But other than that, I'm on the sideline with my notebook, just trying to take in every possible information I can from Coach Casey and the rest of the coaching staff.
Is it, I don't want to use the word frustrating, is it unique or weird trying to integrate yourself to a team, feel like you're one of the guys, but you can't play and you're still so new? Has that been tough for you?
Frustrated is a great word to use, because you know, you grow up playing basketball, you love basketball, but at the end of the day, it's time to sit back. You got to be patient. That's one thing I did learn from my injury, is being more patient with anything in life, whether that's being basketball, relationship, family. It's teaching me a lot of great lessons, and I'm also learning a lot. I'm on the sideline watching practice, doing what I got to do.
Appreciate it.
Can you do like aggressive shooting drills, or are you pretty much off your feet then?
I can do aggressive shooting drills, but it's like limiting my time. So like today, for instance, I'll be honest, straight 25 minutes of shooting, and instead of doing like 30 or 45 of multiple shooting, then I got to sit down for a couple days. So yeah, they have a great plan for me, a schedule that we follow to a T. I have my high day, my low day, my no day. It's all about the impact that I'm getting on my foot, and they're doing a great job taking care of it.
First off, go blue, baby, right over here. But what's the best advice Coach Beilein gave you making that transition from college ball to the NBA now?
The best advice Coach Beilein gave me is, he said, be a sponge. I know you hear that a lot, but he talked about it even back at our 2 years at Michigan, was be a sponge, whether that's being in the classroom or that's being on the court, listen to coach. Either way, it's always, every day is a great day to learn, and you get that vibe from Coach Beilein every day.
for you, it's just been, you kind of touched on this after the draft, but, you know, of course, you're from here in Michigan, you know, I'm sure you grew up watching the Pistons, but so that made it a little bit sweeter being able to be here, you know, still close to home with the team that you've known for a long time.
I like that word, sweet. Sweet like candy, being back at home. Never left Michigan. I call it a legacy. I'm excited to join Weaver, Casey, and the rest of the young guys. I'm really excited. We work really hard every day. The whole summer was great. You just see a bunch of vets coming in, trying to talk to the young guys, get acclimated. Guys, everybody, their head is on right. Everybody's locked in, you know, eating well, and I'm just excited.
Isaiah, Lucas showed a few things in Vegas that he did not in Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
Did that surprise you or not? And as he continued, the dirt fadeaway, I remember particularly.
That was my favorite play he had in Vegas, besides the block shots he had. But no, Luka, he did a great job. I think everybody knows it's not a secret of him working on his body. Once he worked on his body, obviously your feet get a little quicker. You run up and down the court a little faster, and you just feel more comfortable out there. And you could tell by looking at Luka, it was totally different. Luka Garza from Iowa, and then NBA, Detroit Pistons, Luka Garza. He looked great. He's always in the gym. He wants to be great. So, you know, at the end of the day, when you got a guy who can work out like that and then know his habits, know his roles, he's gonna have a great career.
Did he talk at Iowa the way he did on the court in Vegas?
Oh yeah, yeah, man. It's Luka, man. It was Luka Garza. Come on now. He was like the king of college basketball, but he's still the same guy. Everything transformed how I thought it was gonna do, and I'm just super proud of him. Playing against him, being a competitor. We left high school together, we played each other in AAU, played each other in college for 4 years, win, lose. I think I have the record on him, hopefully, but you know, I'm excited to start this journey with him.
In being a sponge on the sideline during practice, what have you been able to kind of soak up so far?
Most importantly, I'm running down like terminology. So the difference from the college basketball world, terminology they use, whether that's help or low man, some of the things are similar, some are different, and I think the hardest thing for me when I get back is naturally I'm going to have these college terminology habits that I'm going to be screaming out, and people are going to be looking around at me like, oh, that's college, man, it's the NBA. So that's one thing I'm making sure I can do is be 100% understanding of what the terminology to use so my teammates can hear me and read me faster.
Have you ever moved out of Michigan before?
Nah, man.
Your whole career's been here in Michigan.
Yeah.
What's that mean to you? Just to be fortunate, honestly, one of the very few, I'm sure,
Yeah.
to be able to do that.
No, it's exciting. When my name was called, and Detroit Pistons were on that clock, and you know how it goes. You get the call and everything. You know where you're going before everybody else does. But I was just like, wow. Yeah, I've never left Michigan, and it's exciting. My family's here. My fans are here. Like, everybody's here. Everything's here in Michigan that I need. I don't need anything else.
All right.
Okay. You guys have a great day.
I don't know if we talked to you toward the end of summer league, but how did you feel about what you were able to show there in just your game, and the things that they wanted you to work on and to show in summer league?
I think it was good just to build with the young core that we have a little bit, and to be able to be more versatile, play off the dribble, off ball screens, making more decisions, playmaking, getting my teammates open. So I think it was just good to be able to practice that a little bit and be able to see that in a game situation, and hopefully build on that during the year.
Do you anticipate having more of a green light next season as far as being able to maybe seek out some of those ice opportunities beside during summer league, or is that more so, just a summer league thing for now?
We'll see what Coach Casey wants, but I'm prepared for anything.
Last year, I think it was just a couple of weeks after the draft, you was kind of thrown into this. You didn't have any time to really learn your surroundings, your teammates, or anything. How much more comfortable do you feel going to year two than you felt going into your first training camp?
First, it's a blessing to be here, and just to have a year under my belt is great. Obviously, being able to see and know, what we want to do in the system and what we want to do as a team. I think it's great to build off of that, and I'm excited for it.
Cindy, the team has gone out and added a lot of shooting, whether through the draft or free agency. Is it, as somebody who's trying to evolve their game, put the ball on the floor more, is it easier transition when you have guys on the perimeter who can knock down shots and open up those spaces for you to move?
Yeah, I think being able to spread the floor out and everybody being able to get the rebounding going, and the spacing, I think is vital. More space is harder to guard, so and having a lot of shooters is great. Great for us, and it's going to be very vital down the stretch.
Who's the best shooter on the team?
I gotta be confident in myself. I gotta go with myself.
Who's number two?
Number two, I don't know. We'll see. I can't. I'm not like that. I'm not like that, man. We'll see.
We'll check in after camp. Was there anything last year with the rookies where I know sometimes they've had pink backpacks or stuff like that? Did you guys have to do anything like that with COVID and everything else going on?
I think we got off the hook a little bit for COVID. I think we had to do towels, bring towels for the vets. Saban had to bring donuts for the vets. On the plane, we had to do that. Just like some small stuff like that, but it wasn't nothing too crazy.
But you don't have to do a redo this year as
Well, apparently we do. Like they said to our first game. I don't know. We have to. We'll see.
Defensively, when you looked at your film last year, what did you see the spaces that you needed or you wanted to sort of make improvements on?
You saying like after the year?
Yeah.
I think every you just see year in year out people are shooting from deeper and deeper, right? So to just be able to close out at a further distance and still keep the man in front, just something like that, and just things like that, just to help our team and our spacing, and just be able to plug up gaps, just to help my teammates and be able to go recover to my man. So just those things, man, and just talking more, being more vocal, and just everything. I think try to improve on.
How will that Olympic experience help you out this season?
I think it was a blessing to be there, and I think just being able to play against those guys, those caliber of guys, every day, being able to hold my own, I think it's just it helps with confidence, and just be able to see the game in a different lens, be able to play with some of those guys, and just see how the game is played, at that level and Olympic level, and I think it's going to be it's going to definitely help for sure.
All right, City,
Appreciate it.
Rodney. Did you know that you would end up coming back here pretty much most of the offseason, or was there still some up in the air?
I had a feeling that I'd be back here. I was pretty much around all summer, just working out and just training here. So I did have a feeling that I would. But I didn't know the terms or anything, but I did have a feeling.
And obviously, being a veteran on this super young team,
Yeah.
I don't know, is the dynamic weird because of how young the guys are? It's not like Josh, 24, 25,
Yeah.
there's a lot of 19
Yeah.
and 20-year-olds. Is it different for you?
It's not really different because I played on teams where I had a veteran, like a guy like Udonis, and he's way older than all of us. So, you know what I mean? Like, the dynamic doesn't change. It's still the same game and still the same lingo. So it's the same thing out there, you know, just younger guys, and, you know, you just try to fast track them and teach them everything that you've learned and your years and a part of your journey as well.
Is that more difficult when it's so many guys that it's not like one or two and you can kind of take them under your
Yeah.
wing and do that a little bit one-on-one, but now
Yeah.
you're doing like 1-on-8?
Yeah, actually, it's funner when it's a lot of guys because, you know, more guys are eager. These young guys are eager to learn and eager to ask questions, though. So that makes it exciting that when you see guys that are just so hungry to get better, it kind of excites you, and, you know what I mean? It just brings a different vibe, a different feel to the team, I would say.
You're gonna have two guys in Cade and Killian, both 20 years old, and they're gonna have the ball in their hands a lot. You've been around this league long enough to know that teams that trust young guys that young with the ball, they go through some real growing pains. How do you kind of just fight your way through that?
Those guys are two mature guys. You know what I mean? Yeah, they're 20 years old, but Killian's learned from one of the best point guards that, you know, that's played this game in Derrick Rose last year, and learning from guys like Corey Joseph, who's a vet who's learned from Tony Parker, one of the greatest point guards that played this game. So, and Cade just has so much poise, and, you know, like when you watch him play, you watch the way he carry himself, you wouldn't know he was 20 years old. You know, so those guys are mature guys, and, you know, they're eager to learn, picking people's brains, they're constantly putting the work in. So I trust those guys. I would say that I really do trust those guys, and everyone makes mistakes. You know, I've seen the greatest of the greats turn the ball over 9 times, and Westbrook is a heck of a point guard, but he makes mistakes. You know, it's just a part of the game. No game is played perfect. No job is done perfect, and that's a part of growing and maturing, is to play through those mistakes and still have the same swagger and confidence that you have when you're having a good game.
What have you seen, especially compared to last year? Everybody came into the season pretty much on short notice, but you have 2 rookies that got already honest last year. You talk about the maturity with Cade and Killian. Just how does the energy feel at this point in the season compared to at this point last year?
It's a different season, man. The time of the year we came in, we didn't know when the season was starting last year. Like, it was just like, you really can't compare. You really can't compare that to any season, man. COVID season was just a tough year. Not really tough in the aspect of we were fortunate enough to not miss any games or deal with anything like that, but just tough in the way that we had the fast track, and those rookies had to, you know, just were thrown in the fire. Like, they didn't get the privilege of playing in summer league and having that, you know, just the feel of the NBA game that way. They were just thrown right into preseason games. And I would say that's the difference going into this year. Like, the young guys that, you know, who are signed a 2-way or coming into camp, those guys are well prepared because they had the experience of playing summer league, I would say. That's the only difference. But it's the same atmosphere, though. It's the same atmosphere. Guys just want to get better and competing. And, you know, you got older guys that have been around and been to different places, but bringing their same mentality that they've always had and just ready to compete.
All right, thanks, Rodney.
Thank y'all, man.
How you doing, Kelly?
Good, how you doing?
Good. Dwayne said after summer league, when you came back to Detroit, there was something different about you. Just what I think he said, the way in which you played the game, the pace, everything just kind of picked up once you got back. Did you take the summer league experience and go off and work on some stuff? What happened in between those two times?
I mean, I definitely, like, after the summer league, I went back to France a little bit, and that really started, like, working more with my trainers from back home. And coming back, just my mindset, the way I wanted to come, the way I wanted to be seen on the court with more intensity. I know I can be a great defensive player, so I really focus on that.
I know you only had 3 or 4 games with Cade in summer league, but what did you learn over that time about how you two kind of play off of each other?
I mean, Cade, he a great guy. He a great teammate on and off the court. You know, he's really easy to play with because he always thinks team first. He never puts himself in front of the team, but he's a knockdown shooter. He can play on and off the ball, so he's just somebody that's really easy to play with.
Is there enough space, like not necessarily on the floor, but just with minutes and time and ability to make mistakes and play through them for you and him to be able to develop as ball handlers at the pace that you want to be able to develop in your second year?
I mean, I know I can play on and off the ball. He can play on and off the ball. So at the end of the day, it's just like we want to win. So whatever it takes to win games, and that's more of a coach decision. I'm gonna just work hard, work for the team, and you know, that's ends up to the coach at the end of the day.
Have you heard that kind of talk, that criticism that it's 2 point guards and you guys play the same decision or same position and it has to be either or? Do you kind of hear that filter through?
Nah, not really. That's not how we see it. We just play. We really want to win at the end of the day. So we can play with each other, play different roles. But I think that's really a question for the coach. I'm just here to try and win games.
For you, and obviously with Cade, in what ways can he make your life easier as well? I know you had one of your best games playing alongside Saban a lot last year, and you kind of mentioned that somebody else ball kind of frees you up. Did you have experience doing that before last season, and not coming in with Cade? Have you been able to kind of play off like a season deal on that?
Yeah, definitely just coming in, not having to bring the ball up, put some pressure off of me a little bit. I love playing with Saban because he can bring the ball up, call up the plays, and I play more of a shooting guard position. But it could be the same thing with Cade. I can give him a little break from the full court press or whatever it is, and he can give me the same way.
So due to the pandemic last year, I feel like you didn't have that full off season. You didn't have the summer league to prepare you for last season. How do you feel going into it this year?
I mean, I feel good, really confident about our team and what we bring to the table. We've been, working as a team for the past month. Like a lot of guys, we've been here in Detroit throughout the whole summer. So as a team, we're really ready for this season.
One of the things that stuck out in summer league is during Cade's defense together. So how do you expect that defense to kind of help you guys catch up offensively?
I mean, defense win games. So if we play hard defense, it will definitely make the offense a little easier. If we can, catch it off our defensive rebound and run the floor, play a lot of transition, play with fast pace. So our defense is something really big. Coach talk about it a lot, that it's always defense first, so we've got to buy into that.
One thing that was said often last season by Dwayne is that he picked up the defensive side faster than the offensive side. And you just said you want to be a great defensive player. Why do you think that's something that kind of came to you a little bit more naturally early on?
Definitely. I feel like defense is really a mindset because everybody could be a good defender if you just play hard on defense. And I feel like also physically I can, guard different position as well and, use that to my advantage, really mentally buy into that defensive and stop whoever I got to stop.
All right, thanks, Gillian, appreciate it.
All right.
Appreciate it. obviously free agency played out pretty long for you. Did you anticipate always coming back to Detroit, just a matter of when it would get done?
Yeah, definitely. Free agency was a great process. I'm happy to be back and just get this thing going, and looking forward to doing great things in the city for sure.
For you, what was the coming off of last season, you're right here before the trade deadline, you got a strong 20-game stretch up the ball. Well, how do you build on that, and what's sort of your focus going into next season as far as growing off of that?
Just trying to get better each and every day. I feel like I try to live my life on every day trying to get better at something, and every day trying to attack every day with an agenda. So no matter what it is in life, just trying to be a better person, a better player. So my goal for this season is just to be a better person, better player, and just try to help this team do great things.
That was the first time, obviously, you were traded last year mid-season and to Oklahoma City, been the only NBA home you've known. How much more comfortable do you feel, and having those, whatever, 20 games or so under your belt, how much more comfortable do you feel in this system and knowing what your role is?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like it was definitely, when I got traded, it was definitely different at first, but having Troy Weaver with me made it much easier because he was with me in Oklahoma. He was a big part of why they drafted me as well, to my knowledge. But having him with me made the process so much easier for me, and it made me feel like I was at home since day one I've been here. So for me going into this year, with whatever is asked of me, whatever is asking me from the coaching staff, just try to go out there and just try to be myself for the most part.
When you look at this roster, what excites you about the new pieces that were added? Obviously, Cade and Luka and a couple other guys, but just keeping most of the same roster intact from last year and adding those pieces.
What excites me the most is definitely we got a great group of young guys coming in. We got Kelly that came in as well, and Corey Joseph that came back as well. What excites me the most is just being able to play with these guys that all love the game and that all want to win for the city. I feel like when we're in practice, when we're in workouts on a day-to-day basis, you see how much this means to everybody, and you see how much work is being put in. It's like you feel like you fit in, and you feel like you want to be around that. So I feel like that's what's most exciting for me, and not trying to look too down the road, not trying to just be always thinking about the future, just trying to live in the moment. I feel like that's very big for us, living in the moment, because we got to take this thing one day at a time, and we can't take nothing for granted.
Troy said, Dwayne emphasized it, a couple of players have talked about it, that this has to be a defense first team. I know that's always been kind of like the backbone of your game. You came in as known as a guy who would be a defensive stopper. You see this as a real fit for you, and the fact that they're emphasizing defense presents you with a real opportunity.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like you gotta, in this game of basketball, you gotta play both sides of the game. So, Coach emphasizing defense and Troy emphasizing defense, I feel like that's something that we could be really good at, and that's something that I feel like I could be really good at, and I'm just gonna keep trying to get better at it and keep trying to take on those tasks. I mean, those are big tasks, those are big shoes to fill, but just keep trying to take on those tasks and keep trying to be the person that I know I can be, and just keep getting better.
Great.
Appreciate you guys.
questions? We're good? I'm out.
Trey, what went into the decision to come here, and what do you see kind of the front office and the franchise and the inner workings of what they're trying to put together?
The main decision for me was pretty easy after I had a conversation with both Coach Casey and with Troy Weaver. Just really diving into letting them know that I wanted the opportunity to play, and have a real opportunity to play. And they told me that, this would be a good opportunity for me to get that chance. And I've seen, over the years how they've been trying to turn the organization around and different things. And over the last 2 years, it's like when we go play Detroit, we just know they're a young team, but they're going to play hard and they're going to play, all 48 minutes. So, just me being able to be a part of something like that, and then hearing it from both of those guys, that about the opportunity just made it really easy for me.
What is your relationship with Kelly and Corey? You guys go way back. Has there always been kind of a relationship there?
Yeah, I've known Corey since I was like 8th grade, freshman year of high school, just from Team Canada stuff, and same with Kelly. So, I was with both of them this past summer, with Team Canada. So, we've been pretty, tight for a long time now.
What do you bring to the scene, and how do you envision fitting in with this roster?
I think I could bring some leadership, just from being on various other teams and just, had some, playoff experience just from watching and whatnot, and just, knowing what it takes to be part of a winning team, and, just, work ethic, and then just being able to do whatever it is the team needs from me, coaches need from me, stuff like that.
What's your impression of Kate Cunningham so far, and how much time have you spent with her?
I've spent a few weeks with Kate. He's very talented. I think he can, really turn out to be a very, very good player in this league with his skill set, his size. I think he's going to do really well for himself.
Was it weird just the way this roster's been constructed, that nobody's been here more than 2 years, and now you're coming in and you're a vet, and just here half as long as everybody else?
Yeah, it's funny. You don't see that very often in the league and whatnot. But like I said, with what Troy and Coach Casey are trying to do, really turn around this franchise. They got to start somewhere. So, I think they said Killian's the longest tenured guy, and he's only 20 years old. So that was pretty funny. But no, I think everybody's really putting 2 feet into this thing and really looking forward to what we can do.
In terms of that conversation with Troy Weaver and Dwayne Casey, what kind of have they expected of you coming in here this year?
Just for me to be able to, step on stage and really perform. Like I said, we had those conversations, and I told them I wanted to be able to play, consistently, and they told me that, as long as I go out there and do my job and do what they ask of me, that I'll be able to have that opportunity. And, Coach is going to, assign roles and things like that as the week goes on. So as soon as I get mine, and to dive into that and to make sure that I'm doing that and be able to be on the floor.